Taking this trip meant so much to me. It was like I was finally escaping. I was excited, I was happy. I was finally leaving the desert, and I can't even tell you how excited I was. Jamming to the beat, excited as hell, ready to take on the world. I'm finally on my way to Cambria, California. I'm sure at this point, you're probably wondering, just what the hell am I doing here? Well, it's a funny story. When I was getting the van ready, the first thing that happened, the rear view mirror fell off. It just dropped right off the damn window. I immediately felt like, oh, this is an omen. This is bad. This is not gonna go the way that I want it to. Then I was thinking, oh, don't think like that. It's silly, it's ridiculous, but the problem is that I believe in signs because I get them all the time. And usually it's with numbers, 1111 or 4s or 3s or whatever. But sometimes I get like physical things that happen, things that just shouldn't happen. So the first thing was that. The second thing that happened was the second that I turned on the motor, the van lurched forward. And it only does that when I need a tune-up. I've known I need a tune-up for a while, I just haven't had the money to do it. And immediately when that happened, I thought, oh God, is this gonna happen the whole trip? Oh God, am I gonna actually be able to make it? But I had to go. I mean, I've tried so many times to make this trip to Cambria that it didn't occur to me that my guides and my angels and God was trying to tell me something. There's two things it could have been. It could have been one, this van is cursed, which I've heard many times from several people that have commented on my videos or that have commented on my Instagram. I don't think it is. I'm very sensitive to energy and I can pick up on things. It could be that maybe I have some issues that I'm not really getting through.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
But despite these small things that had happened, I wasn't going to let that hold me back from taking this trip. So I left, and this is what happened. So, new problem. I'm not 100% sure that I found whatever the gas leak was. I thought potentially it could be this thing, but now I'm not really sure. So I just moved it back here. I removed my lithium battery and I put it in these bags here, and hoping that the smell dissipates, whatever it is. Where I was smelling it, I actually smelled it the most in the trash can and in the inverter, believe it or not. So maybe the inverter failed and just putting off this nasty smell. I really don't know. I've never smelt it before, but yeah, it was very pungent when I got in the van this morning. I was like, what the is that? And so I just aired it out and I was like, oh, no big deal. But honestly, the further I drove, I was like, man, I really should check this out. So I'm gonna be like 2 hours late. I don't even know if I'm gonna freaking make it because I'm exhausted and I don't know if I'm just being loopy from the smell of the gas or if I'm loopy because I'm tired. It's a bad predicament. Really bad. So I'm back on the road. I don't smell it too much. I don't know what the it is. It's scary though. It's definitely scary, but I can't get it towed. I'm not doing that. I still don't know what it is. But I'm gonna try and be as careful as I can be. I was feeling pretty lightheaded there on the road and I decided to stop. So something's wrong. I don't know obviously what it is. But obviously this trip is canceled again. Sometimes the universe or God or whatever gives us signs, you know, and it's up to us whether we take those signs as warnings or something positive. I don't know, but the start of this trip was just things were happening, but I ignored it because I was just like, I'm gonna do this, this is gonna happen, I'm finally gonna do this. My stomach is just curling and turning at the thought of giving up. Obviously not on the channel, but I don't know why I can't make this damn trip. The thing that sucks is obviously I can't tow it back. I have to drive it back. So I'm gonna have to do what I did last time when I first bought it. I'm gonna have to drive every half hour until I get to my destination and make a stop, get some fresh air, and then drive again. Despite all this terrible shit that happened, the next day, after the solar had failed, I was still determined to shoot those other 2 tours. So I shot Shelton Taylor and his girlfriend Natalie Arman. They're the 2 sweetest, cutest couple I have seen in a long time. I mean, they were such puppy lovers, it was ridiculous. But you could tell it wasn't just puppy love, it was true love. They have soulmate love, and man, I'm not jealous, I'm happy for them, but at the same time, I wish I had that. I remember what it felt like to have something like that, and it's been a really long time. I was honored to be able to do a tour for them, and Shelton Taylor is a hell of a musician. He writes his own music, he plays beautifully, he sings beautifully. He's the one that makes the girls swoon when he sings, you know, he's got those high notes that he can hit. Me, when I sing, I sound like Jim Morrison. I mean, it's very deep baritone and like raspy and screamy and you know. So he took a mini trailer and converted it into a rolling recording studio. And this thing, it's beautiful. This thing is actually really not bad at all, considering, you know, he had minimal tools, minimal materials, and he managed to make a working, moving studio. I was actually really impressed with it.
Hi, I'm Shelton.
I'm Natalie. This is the van Sprout.
So this is their van build on a budget. You wouldn't believe, around $300. Probably one of the coolest, most zen-like builds I've seen on a budget like this. I wish that I was as adventurous as they were at their age, because in my 20s, I was in the military.
Yeah?
That was my adventure.
Yeah.
I went where I was told to go.
Yeah.
It sucked. But you guys are living a life,
You just
man.
had to break the cycle.
Man, those kids, they're 20 years old, and I mean, I do wish that I knew about this lifestyle before. I mean, with my health, I was invincible at their age. I could do whatever I wanted. I had no idea that that kind of life existed. Very, very lucky kids indeed. At this point, I'm not really sure how I feel. Today was actually a really good day. I met 2 amazing people. I got to see some great builds. And I got to get my feet wet again. Feeling the ocean, the sand beneath my feet, listening to the waves and the wind. It was just what I needed to really calm my soul. This is right where I needed to be. I did not want to leave Huntington Beach. This was really the last thing I wanted to do. I had planned on being out here for at least a week. But on account of the inverter failing and me losing all of my food from the refrigerator's food going bad, I had to come back. I've had very little money left, and I didn't have any other choices. Being in traffic really makes you kind of reflect on a lot of things, because it's so monotonous and robotic and monotone that you're just forced to kind of look within. And I was at this point feeling extremely defeated. This was my 3rd attempt and 3rd failure to make it to this place. By the end of this trip, nearly getting home, I was really feeling pretty down about the whole thing. Honestly, the next day was much worse. I honestly didn't feel like I had left at all. This is my friend Mindy States. I met Mindy on YouTube and Facebook. She's been one of my most loyal fans, and I love talking with her. We chat to each other just about every day on Patreon. I truly appreciate her donations and her moral support. She reached out to me when I wasn't feeling my best, and I said, if you could just stack a stone for me, I would greatly appreciate it. And she did the next day, and it just opened up my heart. It brightened my day. Once I saw that, I knew I needed to go balance some stones myself. You guys know me. I could care less about getting to the top of the mountain. I will literally go like every 5 to 10, 15 feet and I'll stack a stone, because that's what I care about. I just want to litter this whole mountain with balanced stones. That's my goal. We try to balance our lives as best we can, and a lot of times we could fall off track and we get distracted by life and our cell phones and God knows whatever else is out there. But one thing's for sure, just doing actions of balance are balancing. Like, say for example, cleaning your house, making your bed, doing things that organize your space. These are healing things, believe it or not. And for me, balancing stones is probably, it's one of the best healing things I can do for myself. I feel like it helps me get back on track. Balancing stones is all about foundation. And what I mean by that is the place where it sits, not the stone. The stone is half of it. Not all stones can balance. Not all can balance, absolutely not. There are some that you can just never quite get. But if you can find the chink in the armor where you can balance it, it becomes much easier. But this feels good. Like I said, I don't care about getting to the top, and very unlikely that I ever will. All I care about is balancing as many stones as I can. So what you want to do is you want to try to be as safe and as preservationist as possible. A lot of these stones have holes in them, which is the homes for bugs and other little critters, and if you remove it, you could endanger them. So it's really important to look underneath the stones as best you can. When you're balancing stones on a trail, especially on a trail, you want to make sure that you stack them on the receding end. Don't ever stack the stones on that side, because if the stone falls, it could fall and hit someone that's on a trail, and you don't want to do that. So when you do stack them, you want to make sure that if they do fall, there's no chance that they'll hit the trail down below, and there's no chance that it'll hit anybody else. So you got to be really careful, especially when you're balancing stones as heavy as these ones. One of the things I really like about balancing stones is kind of like you're leaving your mark. It's not permanent. That's the thing. You never want to leave a permanent damage or anything to nature, right? We want to leave it as preserved as possible. That's why stacking stones is relatively ineffective in destroying anything, because the stone can simply fall. It's not going to be there forever, especially with the little tremors and earthquakes we have out here. These will all fall in a day. I'll be lucky if these stay up. And 9 times out of 10, there's a good chance some douchebag's gonna knock it over. This is bittersweet for me. What kind of light was that? Get out, demons! Sound like I got a pretty lady sitting right there. Nope. All by myself. I'm all by myself, and no one likes me. That's a song. Guess I'll go eat worms. Big, fat, juicy ones, long, thin, flexy ones. Guess I'll go eat worms.